Whoa, it's Wulzy. Welcome back to another Geometry Dash level request video. Once again, I'm back here doing some more levels randomly off the form, which you can find in the Discord server linked in the description down below. All you gotta do is go to the info channel, tick the box to say that you've read the rules, then you'll gain access to the chats, and also the form channel where you can find the form I am playing the levels from. The first level in this video is Black Xez by Aglas, using Lost in Thought by Namice. Alright, we're starting the video off with a very blunt modern level with a very hard-hitting colour scheme, as there's a lot of contrast between the white and black. Switched up in this robot section too. I like this. Oof. I did not realise that was a saw. I thought it was a bit of air decoration. Looking back at it, I definitely should have realised that. But I'm liking the look of this so far, although it has been a little bit repetitive so far. And I've just been killed by that dash orb for no reason. I don't get it. I don't know why I'm dying to that. Alright, here we go. What's there looks very nice, but in between there are long transitions with just a blank screen, and a lot of the block design is empty. Bit of a delayed transition too. I'm not sure about how this level is put together, but the designs do look nice. It's got a good looking colour scheme, decent colour depth, and the variation's pretty nice too. I was giving it a bit of stick at the beginning for being quite blank and repetitive, but it does get there in the end. I think I'm going to send this for a rate just because of gameplay issues and blank screens, and also a lack of detail here and there. It was pretty cool, very easy. I pretty much did it in one attempt apart from the dash orb issues. Going to send that for a 5 rate. Very nice. Next up, we've got Vinyl by PP Nyan using Oase. I have no idea how you pronounce that. I know Lemkuja's French, but I have no idea how you're supposed to say that. In contrary to the last level we just played, which was a modern level, we've got quite a glow-heavy design level with pretty dense designs that look quite nice. Lyrics are getting dragged across the screen. There's some decent movements in the blocks, and the structure coverage is nice. The gameplay is very straightforward and clear to see. I like that. Switch up in style as the song switches up. Ooh, that movement was actually pretty well done. You can see exactly where you need to go from that. That's cool. And here we go. Let's see what the level has to offer from here on out. The same style again, with quite a rough transition. Wasn't too much of a fan of that, but once you get into the part, it plays pretty well. Not really a fan of the transitions, but it does pretty well to switch up the style when the song changes. The pulses and the movements are well done, and this is probably the best looking part so far. Very nice color range, different rotations in the blocks, and that was actually quite smooth going into the drop, I can't lie. Apart from this weird invisible slope spam. It's certainly climactic, I can tell you that. There's just a lot of spammed gameplay that isn't 100% clear, and it comes back around full circle with a very similar design to what it started with. There we go. This level's kinda all over the place. I'm not sure how to feel about it. The gameplay just seems to be buggy overall, as well as the transitions. You don't really get much chance to react. This part is a little bit too glow heavy for my liking. There could definitely be some experimentation with the opacity of some of that stuff. And the transitions killed me again. I think this is a back-to-back rate send for a 7, I'd say. I sent it for a rate and not a feature just because it's not very well polished. The next level I'm going to be playing is called CPZ by Creator Power Z using Nino X by Mega Nico. Pretty slick so far. I like the matching of the neon background and also the density of those blocks that you've slitted with a line. This is pretty original gameplay wise, but there's a lot of copy and paste that I can notice. I wish there was a little bit of variation from structure to structure. You're losing that color scheme that you built up in the beginning in these parts. You can see the change and contrast from part to part, how different they all are. Watch the difference from this ship part to the next green section. How much stronger the color scheme is in the next part. Like, look how much better looking this is, because you've got a greater color depth, you're using glow a lot more effectively, and it's a lot more saturated and good looking. What? Okay, I don't know how I've just died there, but apparently all my checkpoints were placed on dash orbs, so I'm back here. Don't kill me this time. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna get to see the rest of the level this time. Oh, that was the level. Alright. Creator Power Z's birthday, made in 7 hours. I did not notice that. Wait, how was that long? No way was that long. Cool. Well, you smashed the beginning and the end. I really like the color scheme used there. I'm not going to send this for a rate because it's really short, and it's just a little bit inconsistent. The structures aren't very developed at all. Next up, we've got Nessio by Doggy Bone using Locken and Caraplex Wanderer Instrumental. Alright, interesting white screen build up. Nice release too. This is already very reminiscent of some of Dansman's 10 level challenge levels. The same color scheme, the same movements on the borders. As you can see, the custom borders are rotating around me. I just wish there was a little bit more design within those black ground spikes you've included as the obstacles, because they're very bland. They don't really do much or add much to the part. There could be some design that makes it a bit more uplifting. Yeah, the way that everything is moving is pretty nice, but it's just way too reminiscent of some of Dansman's stuff. I wish there could be some unique take or spin on it to make it a bit more original. And it seems to have a rushed ending too. Don't get me wrong, I am a fan of the way that the movements flow. I like the pulses so far. I don't like that buggy orb. How am I supposed to get past that? I missed a speed changer. Great. Well, I was not expecting that. I was itching my head. I've left a comment. Could definitely have an original spin on it. The guy clearly knows what he's doing. I just wish it wasn't so simple. There could be a lot more detail added to it to make it feature worthy or even rate worthy. It just looks like a Dansman level, which is why I am not sending this. This creator definitely has potential. You can see by the way that the tension's built, but the ending is pretty rushed, which is why I'm swayed to not send this. I don't know how to pronounce this level name. Notepion by Pixels using Panda Eyes Lonely Island. The colors definitely jump out at me straight away. The second thing that jumps out at me is the fact that these black outlines aren't consistent around the edges of the blocks, which makes them look really patchy. You've definitely got a grasp of a custom background using glow, although it could be toned down a little bit because it's very, very bright. The switch up wasn't really expected, although it does look decent. The background was very plain, could definitely have some moving aspect to it or something to make it stand out. This level's just going through the motions right now. Pretty nice twinkling effect on the blocks, 9 circles-esque right there. Could definitely be developed and brought into some decoration like arrows or anything really, clouds, and its layout blocks at the end. Pretty cool, but I'm going to move on pretty quickly. Not very memorable at all, could definitely be developed in its design and decoration, but the colors, the pulses, and some of the movements were pretty nice. Whoa, it's post-video Wulzy. I forgot to intro this level. This is Bliss by Bladionx using Promises by Kabuki Tunes. There we go. Alright, this level is pretty simple so far. It's starting off as a spider, which is pretty interesting. It's got very enclosed gameplay, which isn't really ideal because the designs are super simple and they don't really offer anything for me to look at. When your structures are going to cover this much of the screen, you want to make sure there's something worth looking at because it is going to get stale very, very quickly. Alongside this very static background, it isn't really changing in color, it's just sitting there. This level has a pretty nice color scheme, but there's not really anything in between the blocks and the background that's making it interesting. And we've got a pretty long transition in between parts right here in a flying rocket ship of sorts. Going through space, the twinkling stars. It's vibey. I rate it. It's building the tension right now with a long color change right here. Going from dark to bright. I like that, but it's still pretty basic in its aesthetic. With this same background that it's been using pretty much the whole level apart from that rocket ship part. Alright, we've got some very similar enclosed structures right now. The block format was changed a little bit to have brighter outsides on the edges, but it still doesn't really offer much because it's a solid block without any color depth or anything. I don't know why it took me so long to think of that phrase, but I thought of it, and we're getting to the end. It's incorporating some movements right now on the beats, which is pretty nice. It's still pretty underwhelming because every single block in my sight is just completely blank. I just wish there was a little bit more to it, like some extra decoration pieces, arrows, anything within the block design would help. Even some pulses, it would really help bring this background to life since it's just very stock the way it is. The colors don't change, it just sits there for pretty much the whole level. If those strips are using hue in the HSV tab of the edit object tab in the editor, you could use one color channel and shift all the colors across the screen and make a nice little rainbow effect, which would help your color scheme. Also help you bring in this progression that you're trying to do after this ship part, where you go into the wave and it turns from dark to light. You could also make the colors fade faster and faster, maybe. I don't know, I'm just throwing ideas out right now. But I do like the mellow feel. It does go hand in hand with the song. It is kind of climactic towards the end, the way that it turns dark and goes all speedy. But again, it just doesn't have any pulses or anything to keep me interested. The colors do change, but there's no like flashiness to it. There's nothing that's making it pop out from the rest. In this series, even if your level isn't put on, I hope that you can take my advice and apply it to your own levels. I'm trying to be specific, but also general. This is what I call tastefully empty. This is actually masterful. I'm very impressed by this level, and it only has 19 downloads. Can you believe it? Alright, one more level to end off the level request session. Flipside Under by Cryneck using Creo Exoplanet. Good atmosphere. Let's see what it has to offer. Could do with some pulses here and there, but the designs that are there look very good because of how the glow is executed. It's jumping from part to part very quickly, which I don't like. I really wish the theme was like slowed down a little bit so I can really fester in what's there. But I do kind of like this. I like the clouds, I like the block design, how it's all shadowed. It's also got some pretty masterful glow on top to make it look quite foggy. I'm not really a fan of all these teleporting transitions because it just feels a little bit patchy. It's empty in some parts. Not as tastefully empty as the previous level we played, but it still speaks for itself in terms of glow, pulses, designs. Ooh, some of the structures are a little bit cluttered in their placement. It's quite experimental with its outlines too. This has quite dark grey outlines, but then the next part has some different white outlines that also get reflected in the arrows in the next part. I think it's very creative in some of its color choices. I mean, I know it's all black and white, but the way that the colors are formatted onto the blocks. And it's very inconsistent from part to part. It feels like a lot of things are just dumped into the level without much thought. And the ending's pretty rushed too, although you do get a very good feeling of height, which is done by the clouds and the fact that the top of the screen is brighter than the bottom. It's cool. I just don't know if I want to send it because it's very, very inconsistent. Oh, I just don't know, man. I think I'm going to put this in the later folder and check this dude's other levels soon because I was quite intrigued by that. It's quite memorable, so perhaps I'll come back in a couple of days and look back at it. But that brings us to the end of this level request episode. I hope you enjoyed. Check out the links in the description below. Leave a like and subscribe. Have a good day.